Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about my hopes, expectations, and wish list for DBS in 2022. A couple of you guys asked for this specific type of video, so shout out to all you guys who wanted to hear about this. People want to hear my opinions. I don't know why. I can't believe it. But anyways, we'll get into this video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a Dragon Ball Super video. And if you guys want to help support the channel, there are many ways to do so down in the description. But today, if you want to buy any custom sleeves, playmats, any TCG accessories, even foil playmats, use the link in the description to yourplaymat.com. I talk about their custom art sleeves all the time. They are such high quality, guys. They are art sleeves that don't peel, and especially if you're new to TCGs, most art sleeves you'll find at the local game store will peel, but these don't, so I don't have to double sleeve them. And I talked about this as well. I hate shuffling double sleeve decks, so I get to just shuffle my single sleeve crossworld art sleeves. 10% off with a link in the description once again. Anyways, let's get into the video. Alright, so my first and foremost thing that I want for Dragon Ball Super in 2022, far and beyond anything else I can even think of, is more advertising for the game. If you guys are new to the game, you might not feel this way yet, but I know a lot of you guys that have been here with me for a long time probably share the same feeling as me, that it's so frustrating that sometimes Dragon Ball Super, the card game, feels like the ugly duckling or the black sheep of Bandai, just the game that for some reason they don't want to talk about, and I just don't get why. And don't get me wrong, I gotta give credit where it's due. Like, I've been told there's been advertising for the Dragon Ball Super card game on Dragon Ball Legends and in Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, the two different phone app games. And that's all well and good, but I want this game to be advertised like to the point of annoyance, like the point of a nuisance, right? Where you see, you know, you're scrolling through Facebook, you see ads constantly, and I want Dragon Ball to be like that. Maybe that's a bit unrealistic, but I'm hoping that if I set my expectations at like that unrealistic level, maybe we'll meet somewhere in the middle ground, right, Bandai? So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I really just think the game needs more advertising. We need more ways to especially reach the younger audience, because that's definitely something that Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh are very good at. I'm actually kind of curious to know if Magic is doing a good job of this, but basically like reaching the younger demographic. Obviously Pokemon does it well because Pokemon is a very popular anime aimed at kids. The Yu-Gi-Oh anime is definitely not as popular as it once was, but somehow they're still able to get kids into the game, and we're not really able to do that. The demographic for Dragon Ball is an awesome demographic. Again, one of the best, if not the best community for card games out there, but we definitely sit at about like a 25 to 35 year old mark, I would say. For my personal experience going to events, there aren't that many younger kids getting into the game, and that's just how you create the culture. That's how you get, you know, this kind of system of, you know, new kids getting in, they grow up with the game, they continue to play it, and then they get, you know, more new kids playing the game. Just that kind of cycle that keeps longevity of the game going, which would be awesome. But besides that, of course, I want the game to be advertised to adults, older teenagers, young adults as well. Anyone and everyone who is interested in Dragon Ball, I want them to know about the Dragon Ball Super card game. I think that'd be awesome. And the main thing that this leads me into talking about is the 2022 movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero, right? So what I noticed when the Dragon Ball Broly movie came out, obviously the card game came out with a whole set that had a lot to do with that movie, which was pretty cool, and a lot of the new Broly BR stuff. But yeah, I noticed like this surge in the game back when that movie came out, and of course that drives a lot of popularity and a lot of hype around the game, right? Because you have people, you know, googling plot threads and googling Reddit discussions about, like, you know, the newest Dragon Ball movie that came out at that time, Broly, and this time it'll again probably be Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and that just drives traffic to all Dragon Ball related property, and obviously ergo it'll drive traffic hopefully to the card game. So I do think the movie is going to be good for the card game, but I again just really want a lot of advertising. Like, there should definitely be a card game movie trailer for the movie. That'd be awesome. And then just besides that, you know, your typical commercials, Facebook advertisements, that kind of stuff. And again, any ways you guys can brainstorm that we can get younger players into the game, drop that down in the comments, because that's really a good community project to try and work on it together. So again, drop any ideas on that down in the description, or down in the comments rather. But anyways, let's move on. Alright, so the next thing I really want is more IRL events. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be very, very difficult to accomplish, even in the US, but more so for regions outside the US, because I know a lot of different countries are more strict on their COVID regulations and stuff like that. But I personally just want more IRL events. It's one of the main reasons that I'm in love with card games, and I think at this point it's relatively safe to do. Like, everyone can, you know, make the choices that are best for themselves. You know, you can get vaccinated if you're super worried about the virus, stuff like that, and we can all, you know, wear the masks, do the protocols, all that kind of good stuff. But again, like, IRL events, at least for me, and I know a lot of people also share this sentiment, it's what gets you excited about card games, especially on a more competitive level. But even if you're not a super competitive player, traveling to a regional nearby is still super exciting. I was a more casual Yu-Gi-Oh player back when I played that game before Dragon Ball Super, and anytime there was an IRL regional nearby, that just got me super excited, again, even as a more casual player. So with that in mind, it's a really cool thing to just have more IRL events. It gets people together. It's just good for the human psyche, in my opinion. So more IRL events would be awesome. I hope that if you guys want them in your regions as well, you guys are able to get them. But again, I know it's going to be pretty tough with the state of the world and everything, but that is one thing I'm really hoping for. More IRL regionals. Like, I just keep thinking back to the Chicago regional in 2020 and how much fun that was, and it just obviously a glorious feeling. I came third place during Surge Goku format. That felt really good, but just that big IRL event and like nationals that we just had, those are just really awesome things that I really look forward to. I know a lot of you guys do too, and that's why I'm hoping that we get more IRL events in 2022. Number 3, and this is like the last main one, I want them to improve design, but not too much. Now let me explain what I mean by this. So obviously a lot of you guys will probably agree with this, that a lot of the recent sets, mostly set 14 and 15, had a lot of really lackluster archetypes within them, right? What's really crazy is going into this top 4 of Worlds next weekend, we have I believe 2 set 11 leaders. I believe Gogeta and Icarus are both set 11. We have a set 6 starter deck leader and a set 9 surge leader. Nothing from the past, like, what, 4-ish sets has gone to Worlds, which it's not like a crazy thing, don't get me wrong, but that just kind of exacerbates the point that you guys already know, that a lot of these newer leaders aren't doing so hot. Like, none of the set 15 leaders are really all that competitive, except for a few in like a fringe space, but again, they're nothing compared to the Icaruses, the Gogeta Xenos, the Cell Surges, stuff like that. So I want them to improve design where new cards are more playable, and there has to be a balance too. To be fair, there has to be a balance where not every single card in a new set can be a competitive home run. There has to be a fair amount of casual cards and fun archetypes. That's cool, but one thing that really kind of got me down was the entirety of the Goten archetype in set 15, right? This archetype just really doesn't have anything exciting going for it. It's just a very simple red deck that doesn't do red things all that well, to be honest, and it just revolves around boosting your leader up to really high power, and that just gets super easily stopped by any negate. You can play a weird red-yellow build if you want to play certain counters to stop that, but that's just not super feasible, right? So just archetypes like that kind of got me down. Like Red Broly was cool. We're going to talk all about the green cards in a second, so I'm not even going to bring that up here, but just know that those were super disappointing as well in set 15. And then, set 14 was a little bit better than set 15, but just more of the same, like super uninteresting archetypes that didn't seem to have a lot of, creative drive behind them. And I just hope to see that kind of turn around a bit, because again, like the Goten archetype, some of the other ones, definitely a bit boring. Turles, as much as I like the deck a lot, I've talked about it in many videos that I like it. I think it's one of the fringe competitive decks from set 15, but that is kind of just like a carbon copy of King Piccolo with some new tricks and tips added. So again, yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. But the other reason why I say let's not improve design too much, or let's not get out of hand, is because no one wants another deck like Burn You for 4 Invoker, or Shenron Ramp with Gogeta, or Super Shenron, or the original Mecha Frieza. Nobody wants archetypes like that are just difficult to interact with, or like crazy hyper aggression, like fully unbanned and unrestricted Vegex, right? Nobody wants anything like that gets crazy out of hand. So these things do have to go through rigorous testing. I'd probably honestly rather things be too weak than too strong. I guess that kind of can scale, but that's kind of where I land at right now. But again, no one really wants these crazy uninteractive archetypes. And I know a lot of you guys want to defend Invoker, saying that even at its full power, it was interactable. Yes, you could counterplay the Rival Seeker or the 6-drop Goku, but with the leader ability to take just about any card out of my hand twice a game, that's going to make that a lot more difficult to do, right? So it's the catastrophic blow strategy in tandem with the leader, and I know I probably sound super salty. I am honestly pretty salty because I just don't like Invoker. But anyways, that's my thing about that. Let's improve design. Let's make archetypes more interesting and more fun, and maybe even a bit more thematic. Like, not every red deck has to be like purely what red does, right? And maybe that's where they could have gone with Goten, for example. But anyways, those are my thoughts on that. And then finally, better green cards, but not anymore. So this is more of an honorable mention, and the reason I put this here is because, like, you guys know, if you guys have been watching my videos for a few months now, or even longer than that, like, I was super disappointed with the green cards, as I'm sure many of you guys were. Specifically, I'm talking about from set 15. Like, these cards were just so bad. Like, this Kaioken Goku, like, when you first start reading it, it's a really cool card. Barrier, dual attack, double strike, deflect, excellent stats. Kill 2 guys ignoring barrier. And then even the minus 10k on my leader, I can deal with. But then you're telling me at the end of the turn, I have to lose this battle card that I invested so much in. That's really tough. And then the whole Vegeta archetype, like, relying on your opponent to do something for a super minor, you know, benefit, not great. It's just not very good. But the reason I don't necessarily want this so much anymore is because half of the decks going to top 4 of Worlds are green decks, and pretty much green hand control decks. Like Cell Surge has obviously been a known quantity for a long time, but the whole new like starter Broly deck that's adopted a lot of these just really powerful generic hand control cards could be another deck that's here to stick around. So maybe let's not get out of hand with green, but if you're gonna make more of these like green archetype based decks that don't rely so much on the generic stuff, yeah, let's pick up the pace on that one, because I was really certain, like most of the Unison Warrior block, green has been very lackluster, and I was like, oh, set 15, they have to know by now that green's been lackluster. They have to print better green cards, and they printed this stuff. So this might have seemed like I was digging into Bandai a pretty fair amount, which I am. I mean, you know, criticism where it's due. I also gave some credit where it's due, I think. So these are just my thoughts, guys. But of course, I want to know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.